The next speaker will be Yuri Robakasa, reconstructive hand surgery for lepers and patients with grade 2 disabilities. Yuri, very much welcome.
Thank you very much and good morning to all of the college. In this session, let me share our experience about the function after reconstructive surgery for the leprosy patient with grade 2 disabilities. As we know that our hand have two basic functions. The first one is grasping, already explained by Dr. Wim. It comes from the flexion of the MCP, and it comes from the activity of the extensing muscle. And the second function is pinching, maybe not mentioned yet. The pinching comes from the activity of our thumb muscle, thumb opponent's muscle. So the tip of the thumb can touch the tip of the other finger like this. In the normal patient, those two basic functions can be done easily. But for the patient with the leprosy, especially in the grade 2 hand deformity, these two basic functions can very difficult to be done. When we ask the patient to flex the MCP, the patient will tend to extend or hyperextend of the MCP. And when we ask the patient to pinch something, they tend not to tip, but they tend to tip from side, tip to side like this. As we can see in this video, please. This is the common problem for the patient with grade 2 deformity of the hand. You can see it's very difficult for them to hold the object. They need the opposite hand, so they hold the object with two hands. And when they ask to pinch the pen like this, it's very difficult for them. And when we ask them to write something, they will write like this. It's very common in our patient with grade 2 deformities. So in this situation, when the patient cannot properly hold the object and also cannot good at writing, so the patient will be limited in their daily activity living. And also they cannot hold the simple object, maybe like a cup of glass, they cannot hold the broom, and also they cannot ride a bike or motorcycle. So in this condition, the patient will lose the opportunity to find a job. And also when the patient not good at writing, it will let them to stop their education process, because as we know that besides the ability to read, the ability to write is also very important in educational process. Those two conditions will lead to the functional impairment. They can do the job, they cannot work as normal people, they cannot write, they will stop their education. So in the future, they will be excluded from the society. So what can we do in this situation? Actually, we can solve the problem with a surgical procedure with two kind of techniques. The first one is the flexor sublimis transverse, means we took the third FDS of the third finger and then we divide into four tail, and then we put the tail into the lateral band extension of the ADC. And the second technique is we do the thumb opponentsplasty. Means we took the FDS from the fourth finger, and then we divide into two tail, and we put it into the adductor pollicis and the APL insertion. As we can see in this picture, this is the third FDS. We divide it into four tail, and then we put into the lateral extension of the ADC from the index to the fifth finger. The aim is to replace the function of the dorsal interos. So we hope after the surgical procedure, the patient can do the flexion of the MCP. And this the picture of the thumb opponentsplasty. This is the FDS of the fourth finger from the ring finger, and we put it into the adductor longus muscle and the APL insertion. So how is the result for this procedure? You can see here we have the first patient, Wahyudi, 41 years old. This is the video before the surgery were done. The patient is very difficult to have an object, and when we ask him to write, you can see it's very difficult to him to write like this. And after the procedure, the results after 2 years, we can see now he can do the flexion of the MCP joint, but still with the contracture of the third AP. But now he can hold the object very well, much better than before the surgery. And also he can pinch the pen and write like this. The next patient is Hassan with bilateral claw hand. Video please. When we ask the patient to do the opponent's position, to touch the tip of the thumb to the other fingers, is very difficult. And this is the classical appearance of the claw hand, the hyperextension of the MCP. And after 1 year, the video please, the patient now can hold the object very good, and we can compare with the opposite hand, the left hand, before the left hand is not yet doing the surgical procedure. And also when we ask the patient to write, you can see the patient can write very easily. And we have the third patient here with left claw hand. This is the video. Also when we ask to do the opponents, it's very difficult. They tend to tip to side, not to tip to tip. Okay. So the result is after 3 years, the patient actually right-handed, but the problem is at the left. So we fixed the left hand, but even with the left hand, the patient now can hold the object very well, better than before the surgery. And also he can, this is another object, and when we ask the patient to pinch the pen, particular object like a pen or pencil, you can see he can also pinch the pen, but he cannot write because actually the patient is right-handed. The last patient we can present here is Taslim, 24 years old. The patient also with severe contracture of the third and fourth DIP and fifth PIP joint. You can see it's very difficult to hold the object. Please video. The first video please. Maybe you can click there. You can see here is very difficult to hold a cup of glass. And when we ask the patient to write, video, he cannot write at all. And the result after 3 years, still with the contracture of the third and fourth DIP joint and fifth PIP joint, but now the patient can do flexion of the MCP, and by that we can see the patient can hold the object better than before the surgical procedure were done. And when we ask the patient to pinch the pen like this, he can pinch it nicely and write down on the paper. So for the conclusion, at all of our presentation, we can conclude that the hand reconstructive surgery procedure is need to be included in the holistic treatment for leprosy patient, especially for the grade 2 hand disability, because this procedure is very useful, and we hope after the procedure we can restore the patient ability, the basic function of the hand, the grasping and the pinching, and then in the future maybe they can do better for daily living activity, and maybe they can also get an opportunity to work and will be accepted by the society. And I want to say thank you so much for the Permata with Al-Qadri here, the chief, the director of Permata, the organization, the affected person with leprosy and suffer, and also Ms. Kerstin. And also I want to thank you so much for the TLM, Dr. Wim, who teach us with all the knowledge, experience and the skill in surgery, and also Dr. Ton with all of his knowledge, skill and experience in physical therapy. And also I want to say thank you for the Tajuddin Khalid Hospital, where the operation, the surgery conduct in 2022 and 23. It's very pleasure to share this with you all, and thank you very much.
Great presentation of Yuri. Thank you so much. It's challenging surgery because I think most of your patients had contractures for many years already, so it's really a full grade 2 disability. Any questions for Dr. Yuri at the moment? Not immediately. Do you have any suggestions how we can further improve the outcome?
Thank you very much, Dr. Wim, for the better outcome. Maybe we should pay attention also for the physiotherapy before the operation, to make sure that the joint, especially for the MCP, the DIP and PAP joint, can mobility, and it's a very important thing for the basic result. And also after the surgery, we still need the hand physical therapy to improve the movement of the tendon, because the tendon after we transfer need some special movement, special therapy. So we with those two things, the physical therapy, maybe the outcome will be better. And the very important thing is from the patient. We need the patient to be pay attention for the disease. So some patients in our experience come to us first, but after that they do not come yet. We call it, we try to call them to come back to control, but they can come because the economic problem.
Thank you very much for a wonderful presentation. The functional outcome were fantastic. So I just have one small query. How often you encounter the loosening or tendon slip rupture after surgery?
Okay. We have one patient actually. Yeah, the outcome is not very good, because after we follow up, the function is not like we expect. Maybe we suggest there's a problem with the loosening or the rupture of the tendon cell. But this patient, we call it to come. There's another problem. We try to bring it back to the hospital, but the economic problem is the boundaries for the patients.
Perhaps we evaluate all the operation patients, I think, in the next surgical course, just to learn from any failures. I can't remember that we saw any loosening of any tendon slip insertion that we have utilized. It's possible, we haven't encountered it yet, I think. Thank you for your great presentation. I hope you will be available for more discussion by the end of the session. It does make me realize actually that perhaps I should adapt it a little bit more. Dr. Schroeder, I excluded you from the discussion. Is there anyone now having the discussion question for Dr. Sherman. Dr. Sherman, can I ask you, this artificial intelligence option is perhaps a wonderful tool for earlier diagnosis in the future. It may bring down the level of anxiety in patients to report themselves